Hi there. Please keep our names in town private. We are an older couple, retired, and until last year, our life ran on routines that rarely surprised us. Then a late season storm hit hard enough to peel shingles and push water where it didn't belong. Okay, oh my god. The power went out, the wind sounded like it had weight, and by morning, the back bedroom ceiling sagged like wet cardboard. What scared us wasn't the mess in the moment, it was the mess that came after when the house stopped feeling like shelter and started feeling like a bill. Oh wow, this is a very sad story, I can tell. Just let's move on. The insurance process moved slower than the water damage. An adjuster photographed everything, used careful words, and later the coverage came back full of carve-outs. Some damage counted, some didn't, and the gray area parts were the ones we lived in every day. We wrote deposits to contractors, paid for mold treatment once the smell wouldn't leave, and watched our savings drop in steady, quiet steps. We cut groceries down to bases, postponed appointments, and patched what we could with the kind of fixes you don't brag about. By winter, we had a roof that was good enough, a closed-off bedroom we didn't use, and a new fear that sat behind every creak when the wind picked up. We didn't tell our kids the full story because pride is stubborn, such a parents, and because we kept believing we could solve it ourselves. Oh my god, this is very sad. I hope the story ends well, because I don't want another ending. Poor people. Okay. That's when we started noticing what we used to ignore. On our way home from errands, we saw bulk trash piles at the curb, like they were new information. Behind shopping centers, we noticed cardboard stacks and broken displays that looked freshly cleared out. We also understood the line we wouldn't cross. We never went past gates, never opened locked lids, and never took anything that looked like it belonged to a person. We stuck to what was plainly discarded in public areas, access areas, and we left immediately if staff showed up. The first tries were mostly disappointment, spoiled food, ruined packaging, and the kind of junk that explains why dumpsters exist. Still something changed in us. The embarrassment dulled, and the work became practical instead of emotional. If you share the story, I'm sorry, I just touched the mic. If you share the story and your viewers have rules that keep them safe and respectful, we'd honestly like to read them. Those small habits matter when you're tired and tempted to rush. Okay, so I guess whenever you're starting like curbside picking trash and stuff like that, it's definitely an embarrassment at first. And for sure, a lot of disappointments happen on the way because you're just, I guess, having this dream, you're finding some good stuff in the trash, in the dumpsters, and then you're ending up, I don't know, picking up, just like they said, some rotten food and stuff like that. Okay, let's move on. The day didn't feel special at first. We drove further than usual for groceries to a big shopping center we normally avoided because it cost more. The lot was half empty under a pale sky, and behind the buildings, the service lane looked quiet. We saw a large industrial dumpster set slightly apart, its lid cracked open just enough to show flattered boxes stacked higher than normal. We caught our eye wasn't treasure, it was order. The contents looked bundled instead of scattered, like a clean-out happened fast. We parked where we could, leave quickly, walked over together, and kept our heads down. The smell was mostly paper and dust, not rot. We lifted a few light pieces to see lower, found broken displays and plastic wrap, and that familiar feeling of wasted time started creeping back. But it's actually a good... I don't want to call it a life hack or something, but definitely some costly malls or grocery stores, I guess, are having more stuff there to find. Maybe some, I don't know, fresh food or so. So I don't know. I never tried it myself, but maybe one day. Let's see what's next. Then we saw the rolled carpets at the bottom. tucked against the side like someone wanted them out of view. Not one roll, but several, wrapped tight and tied with twine. Carpets are heavy, awkward, and expensive to dump, and this looked handled with care. We didn't unroll anything there. We worked fast, loaded the rolls into our trunk, covered them with an old blanket, and left without talking much. The whole drive home felt longer than it was, like every spotlight had opinions. In the garage, under harsh light, we laid the rolls side by side and started the way people stare when they know a mistake is still possible. Okay, I guess here we're starting to get it to it. So they found rolled carpets, rolled rugs, which is, starting to give this movie scenario like vibe. By the way, you definitely will see a shortcuts here on the corner of my video. So I'm sorry, it might not look very realistic because it's AI generated. I just wanted for you to have this, not just listen the story, but also visualize. So I hope that makes the atmosphere looks and feel better. We loosened the first knot slowly, expecting stains or mildew. Instead, the rug unrolled to reveal canvas underneath, stretched and framed, protected by carpet like a shell. We stood with our hands hovering because the shape was unmistakable. We unwrapped a second roll and found the same thing. By the time we confirmed a third, our garage didn't feel like part of our house anymore. It felt like a room where consequences lived. And we weren't sure if we just found a way out of our problems or walked into a bigger one. Well, canvases inside the rolled rugs sounds something like criminal, or what's happening there? We didn't touch the canvases again that first night, not because we lacked curiosity, but because the fear felt practical. I would really get scared, I guess, if I found such things there. If those paintings were stolen, or even disputed, we could lose them and still end up blamed for handling them wrong. So we did what we've always done when life turns uncertain. We built a paper trail. We took photos under steady light, front and back, including rough rug twine and the dumpster dust still clinging to the plastic wrap. We wrote down the day, the time, the shopping center, and exactly where the container sat. Then we rolled everything back into the rugs the same way we found them, laid them flat in the spare room, and locked the door. It felt strange to lock a bedroom in our own home, but it felt stranger to leave value sitting out like a dare. Okay, well, that sounds like these people knew what they were doing. I mean, they know the protocol, making photos. What? I wouldn't do that. I don't know what I would do if I found canvases like that rolled in the rugs. I would just, I don't know. Definitely not the process they're doing. Okay, morning didn't bring relief. It brought questions with sharper edges. We looked for any label that might explain why an entire set of rugs ended up dumped like broken furniture. We found torn sticker residue on one rug problems with reading. Let me start again. We found torn sticker residue on one rug backing and a faint pencil line on a stretcher bar, but nothing that gave us a clean story. We also noticed something else that bothered us. One rug had been tied with a neat knot, the kind someone makes when they expect to carry it again. That detail made our stomachs tighten because it suggested someone wanted these moved, not destroyed. We argued softly about whether to call the police, then stopped arguing and choose a safer first step. We called the non-emergency line and asked what to do if someone finds property that might be valuable and possibly tied to a dispute. The officer didn't give legal advice, of course, but he did tell us to document everything, avoid selling privately, and consult an attorney if the value looked serious. That call didn't solve the problem, but it made one thing clear. We needed experts, witnesses, and a neutral location. Well, I'm already stressful about the story. Calling the police, not calling the police, attorney, it smells like really criminalistic thing. I don't know. I wouldn't want myself to happen to this. But okay, let's see what happened next. I want already the ending. It's like, what happening? We also had our first outside moment, and it didn't feel like luck. Our next door neighbors saw us carrying the rugs from the car into the garage and asked. I'm sorry, I had to stop. It's giving the murder scenario. Like, the neighbors saw us. Oh my god, that's creepy. Okay. And asked lightly if we were starting a resale side hustle. He didn't sound mean, but his eyes lingered too long. We laughed it off and said we found some carpet rolls and wanted to see if they were usable. After he walked away, we realized how fast a small observation could become a neighborhood story. Definitely. That's when we made another choice that felt boring but necessary. We did not post photos out online. We did not ask Facebook groups. We did not tell family yet. We kept it in between us until someone professional told us what we actually had. If someone watching your channel has ever found something valuable in a free pile, we'd love to hear the one rule you follow to stay safe, because we're still learning what safe even means in a situation like this. So yeah, I guess here I need to ask you guys if you ever had such situations, or at least, familiar stories. Please share it with us in the comments. I think it will be really interesting and curious to hear what would you do, or what did you do. And I guess our couple would also want to know if they did right or not, but I think as the story ends, we already know that they find their way out of it, but still. Okay. We contacted a local estate appraiser, not someone who chases the dumpster jackpot stories. We emailed only tight close-ups, paint texture, canvas edge, partial signature, not full images, no home address, no dramatic explanation. He replied within a day and asked for an in-person review. His wording stayed careful, and that's what chilled us. He said the work resembled pieces tied to Francis Hines. I'm sorry. Then added, almost like a warning, if it's real, the process matters more than the fastest sale. We met at his office during business hours with cameras and stuff around. We wrapped each canvas back inside its rock shell, strapped everything down, and drove like we were carrying glass. It didn't feel exciting, it felt like exposure. Yeah, it's giving me thrills, and I would be really stressful driving these rocks to an office or somewhere else, because now I would feel like someone is stalking me or like following me. Everybody knows I have something in those rocks. Oh my god, this is really stressful to read even. Okay. He handled the canvases and gloves, studying stretcher bars, canvas wave, and paint under the bright light. He wouldn't authenticate one spot, but he said the group deserved formal due diligence and a reputable auction path. He told us not to take any cash today offers if word leaked, and he urged us to write a simple discovery statement while details were fresh. We went home with a folder of steps and a heavier worry. If experts were taking this seriously, someone else might too. Okay, that night, while we typed our statement at the kitchen table, an email landed with a logo we recognized. A major auction house wanted a secure intake review, and they required full disclosure in writing before they touched the work. Well, yeah, that sounds pretty much serious. It should have felt like help. Instead, it read like an interrogation. Was the container gated? Did anyone speak to us? Do we have time-stamped photos? We'd already learned what one wrong phrase can do, so we spent money on the most boring protection available, and 1 hour consult with a local attorney who handles property and estate disputes. Well, that's, I guess, the smart step here. I would go to attorney and have this consultation, because this story is very, very serious and stressful. Really, you can see I'm just starting to like okay. I lost the line, but I'm gonna find it. I'm sorry that happens. Okay, so local attorney. He gave us a clean plan. Keep the story consistent. Document chain of custody. Don't sell privately. and let the auction house run registry checks before any public listing. Save every receipt because Texas Spanish sloppy paperwork. Okay. So we wrote it like a checklist, not a confession. Storm damage that pushed us toward carp find videos, a shopping trip that took us to a larger center, rolled rocks sitting at the bottom of an open commercial container. We stated clearly we didn't hop fences, cut logs, or enter any back room. We added time, location, and what we left the area as we found it. Then we attached photos from the garage, rugs is found, canvases partially unwrapped, then rewrapped. Turning fear into paperwork felt strange, but it kept us steady. Okay, let's get to it. Once the auction house accepted intake, the art stopped being a secret and became a procedure. Do I say it right? A courier, it's a French word. A courier arrived with archival materials and an inventory sheet. Each piece got an internal code, measurements, condition notes, and controlled light photos. We watched strangers handle the canvases with practice neutrality and felt something we didn't expect. Relief mixed with grief because the responsibility finally left our hands. Yeah, I would be like, oh, finally. Due diligence dragged on for weeks, more written questions, more careful answers, then the message that nearly broke our sleep. A registry check flagged a similar title from decades ago, and they needed to confirm whether our pieces matched. For 2 days, we lived in a sick space between we are safe and we're about to be accused. The follow-up finally came. Titles didn't match, dimensions didn't line up, and the specialists believed the set was more likely misplaced or discarded during a clean-out than stolen. Not comforting, just survivable. Okay, well. When the catalog draft arrived, we refused to treat estimates like money. We treated them like probabilities. We watched the auction online from our kitchen, not for drama, but for closure. The bids climbed in steps, paused, climbed again. When it ended, the net after commission, transport, photography, specialist costs in Texas still landed in the low 6 figures. Oh my god, 6 figures. That's pretty good. I mean, that's too much, I don't know. We didn't buy new cars. Would be odd. We fixed the roof correctly, handled insulation and mold prevention, and paid the medical bills that had been stacking quietly for months. We parked a portion in savings. We promised not to touch because stability was the whole point. Stability is the whole point, I agree. We don't tell this like a victory lap. While it was happening, it felt like walking through a crowded room holding something breakable, praying nobody bumped your elbow. The paintings didn't save us because we were bold. They helped because we moved slow, documented everything, and closed the clean path when faster options whispered. The storm taught us how quickly safety disappears. The dumpster taught us something stranger. Value and discard can sit inches apart, and the only way to survive that kind of luck is to treat it like work, not a miracle. That's the ending. That's well said, and I'm really impressed by this story because I felt like a bunch of emotions while reading it. It was really stressful. It was like giving adrenaline vibes with those rolled rugs carrying to the office and all this police and estimates and stuff like that around, but I'm glad it ends with the happy ending for the people. And yeah, well, if you like the story, if you want to hear and see more, please subscribe, leave a comment. I would really appreciate it and hope you enjoyed it. Bye!